So, what are the common mistakes that I see every year is, as I've been repeating in my earlier segments, not understanding the program curriculum or not understanding the prerequisites of the program. Because Europe is one country which will not be looking into your overall degree title alone. Every university or with the Swedish part alone, you do have universities looking up for subject specific requirement. So if you aren't mapping up with the subject requirement properly, then you don't even have a chance of getting an admit. So this is where this ECTS summary sheets and all comes into picture. So you should devote a very good, decent time for you to understand the curriculum and understand the ECTS requirements and preparing this ECTS sheet. Many a times I've seen students getting stuck with the ECTS preparations on a longer time. So understand the university's curriculum much efficiently so that you don't get a problem in getting an admit with that particular university. So a weaker statement of purpose. Here is where I spoke to you about the ChatGPT generated SOP, or just an SOP which is not having a concrete information about why a particular university or why particular this program. Because just mentioning about the university name and program name will alone not tell that that is a university specific SOP. You will have to have a good time devoted in understanding the faculty profiles, in understanding the course modules. You should link your profile with the course modules for your future masters, so that becomes a very good SOP for you. Next is the late application process. Here is what again I see every year. Students do not look into the January 15th deadline alone. They think that the March deadline is also for them. So March deadline is not for international students. Again, I repeat, it is only for European citizens or candidates who do not have a visa requirement. So the late application should not be done for Sweden. Even if you come to, even if you plan to apply for January 16th, you cannot be able to apply to the Sweden universities. Timeline for application plays a very important role. And for the scholarship, as I said, this has to be parallelly applied for certain universities along with the application deadline. So if you sit on with the university application alone and if you don't apply for the scholarship, then again you are missing out with your chances. Next is program ranking. So understanding the subject requirement and planning for that particular university as the first choice will be the best option. Instead, having one particular university just because that is quite high ranked and mentioning it as first choice rule, then you are missing out with the admission probability, and also the scholarships are interlinked with the fourth choice rule. So the program ranking plays a very important role for the Swedish universities. Final part is this financial planning and the accommodation planning. Many a times I have been telling my students to start looking into the accommodation process the moment once when you get your admit letter, because the housing crisis happens with most of the time once when you approach the accommodation houses on a later date. So March, April timeline, you should be at least ready with your financial planning, and also you should approach the accommodation houses, be it the university campus accommodation or with the outside accommodation. You should have by May or June, by the time you apply for your visas, which is your resident permit, you should have your accommodations also done, so that only you will be having a safer journey and immigration process towards Sweden. So now we just spoke about an elaborate way about the Sweden journey. Why should you choose Sweden, or who should choose Sweden, how to apply, and how to process the applications and other stuffs. So this has been an exhaustive video that I have done and which is split into various parts. Please watch my other videos too, and thanks for watching.